This past week we had some really great weather outside and it finally is starting to feel like spring. So here's everything that we got done. So we started the weekend off by building some raised beds. This long one here is the one that my boyfriend's building, and then I take the end pieces and make a circle bed out of it. We got this as a pack of 2 on Amazon, and what we've done with our other ones is just combine them and then make a circle bed out of the end pieces, and we just like that the best. We're going to end up doing like a tiered situation with our long beds and then a couple of circle ones, and we just think that it looks the best that way, and it's the best use of our space. And then after the circle bed's built and it gets quite a bit warmer, obviously, we are going to put corn in it. So we went ahead and got this one built. We're still working on that other one. He's got the last little metal thing to put in the middle. But this one ended up being 4x4, and so I think we're going to end up putting corn in it so that we don't have to use our other bed on the other side. So he's finishing that up, and then this will be done.
So bright.
So you can see we've been out here maybe an hour, and it's gotten to be so slushy. It feels like a pond. Our feet are cold, but it is made.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yay! Woohoo! Here we have our little box of all of our seeds. So at this point we can start our squash and we can start our melons. Super excited. We can also go ahead and start our loofah, which we have a freaking billion seeds saved up. Yeah, and these are purposely spelled stupid. So this is our greenhouse. It needs a clean. We're going to get that done today. But a common issue that we have is that it gets super, super hot in here in the middle of the day. And then as soon as the sun goes down, it gets really cold. And so we leave our heaters on all the time. And sometimes they get turned off in the middle of the day, sometimes they don't. But it gets up to like 120 in here sometimes. And so we are going to install automatic hinges to open up these windows when it does get hot. And we're going to see if those don't help it out quite a bit. Future Kati here in my room. They were the wrong size. So while he starts on putting those hinges in, I am going to go ahead and start some seeds. So normally I start my seeds in these smaller seed trays. These are all of our peppers and our tomatoes back there. But because squash grow just so fast, I'm going to go ahead and start them in one of these bigger trays. So this is the kind of soil that we use for seed starting. It's just organic, Miracle Grow. A lot of people tend to be concerned about having chunks in their soil when seed starting. I can see why. Personally, I've never had a huge issue with it. Stuff like little sticks. Now, I will go ahead and let's see if I can find something. So like these bigger pieces that'll just cover up the seed completely, I do go ahead and take these out, but I've never had too much of a problem, and I have laid these in here, and because squash seeds are also just so large, I'm not too worried about them not germinating. For these loofah, I'm going to do 2 per hole just because I'm not worried about running out of seeds. We literally have so many saved. We have more over there. We have a lot. Yeah. So in there we started our crimson sweet watermelon, some cantaloupe, tiger melon, orange watermelon, and our vining mango or vine peach. When it comes to growing squash, unfortunately we just don't grow very much because it has such a heavy pest pressure where we're at that anything we plant tends to die pretty quickly. So we went ahead and got those started, and now we have them all up in there, and you can see we have so much started. I'm so excited for this next year. And so our next step is going to be fertilizing some of our peppers. We are going, oh my gosh, I just kicked this cat. Right now I am going to bring over these peppers. These are all of our hot and some sweet peppers. So almost all of these peppers have their true leaves, and the ones that don't are still about 2 weeks old. So we're going to give them their first fertilizing. This cat showed up a couple days ago. And he is just the cutest thing. We had to keep him in our garage for a little while. We had an index of -23, and so we figured he might not be able to survive that. So we fed him and clothed him. And no, he's our cat, and he stays outside. We have 3 indoor cats. But he brought us a mouse, and we think he'll be here to stay for a while. So I'm also going to go ahead and grab these onions and this broccoli. This stuff also gets its first fertilization. I'm also going to do an experiment where I cut half of these. I'm really afraid to do it, but I read on Google that you can cut them and they come back stronger for bigger onions later on, and so we're going to do that with half just in case it goes terribly wrong. Okay, so these are what we're fertilizing, and then we are waking all of these peppers back up. I've got one over here. We're going to wake those back up as well. So when it comes to fertilizing seedlings, you're going to want something that is higher in nitrogen. I got this on sale at Lowe's. It's just an organics, like water-soluble, all-purpose fertilizer. It's 927, which is the numbers NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen is going to help with like beginning growth, and then potassium and phosphorus help with like root growth and blooming. And so right now we want a lot of root growth and a lot of foliage. So our first and our last. But you can really use any fertilizer that's got nitrogen in it. Another point that's important to add is for your seedlings, because they're super tiny, you don't want to add too much fertilizer. You can burn them real quick, and then it's sad because your plants die. One more important thing to add when you are fertilizing seedlings, you want to make sure that soil's already pretty moist. And that goes for seedlings or grown plants. If you fertilize them without them having any water, they're going to soak it up a lot faster, and that could lead to them burning as well. So I put the little granules in there. They're going to dissolve, I think. Then for these overwintered peppers, I'm just going to add some worm castings and just give it a good water in. They have already started to grow back their leaves, but it's nice to give them a little boost. And then here we have our chiltepine from last year. It's starting to come back itself. It's got a little bit of growth here. So we're going to give this one some nutrients as well. And then this is the worm castings that I'm using. I think I just got this off of Amazon. This next one is a really easy one, but wind chimes! Yippee! So it is a couple days later, and we're going to do something super, super exciting. Tanner got me a pluot berry tree for Christmas, and today we're going to plant it right up there. So Tanner so graciously dug out the hole, and it's going to be as deep as our roots are, and about 2 to 3 times as wide as our roots are. He's grabbing that tree. Look at it. Look how pretty it is. Now we're going to take a look at these roots, and anything that looks dead or dying or deceased or unhealthy or whatever, we're going to go ahead and trim that back. So we're mixing our normal dirt that we use just in a grow bag. It composted with straw that we had last year, and we're mixing that with our natural clay soil, just because our clay soil is really not great. So we backfilled with some old soil from a grow bag that we used that had some straw that decomposed into it, and then we had this Miracle Grow organics bag, and we layered that on top as well. We found to like that so far. We just started using that this year, but we like that it's organic, it has compost in it, and it will continue to break down and feed our soil as the year goes. Now we also went ahead and patted down this soil. Now you don't want to do this too tight because you can suffocate the roots, but a little bit is perfect. Then we backfilled with our natural clay soil and gave it a good watering in. So next up on the to-do list was to up-pot some of our pepper seeds. Now these have gotten quite large and they were started about mid-January, so about a month ago, and they are finally ready to pot up. They have at least 4 leaves, 2 which are true leaves, and we like to make sure that we pot them up with more than enough time to grow their roots out into their pot so that they don't become root bound when they're small. You can see this bag of potting mix that we have on the table. That's what we use to pot up. We just buy that from Walmart. I don't remember the name exactly, but I'm sure you can look at the bag and see it in Walmart. But we like this. It has a slow release fertilizer but also some natural fertilizers in it, and it's a really great option for growing your peppers, your tomatoes, things that need maybe a little bit more nutrients than the others to grow. So now you're going to see Tanner testing the pH of the soil, and we just did this because we have 2 different potting soils, one that we used today and one that we used a little while ago, and we were just wondering how acidic each of them were. The one that we used today was a great pH. It was about 6.5, and unfortunately the other one was quite acidic. The pHs were just a little bit low, so we added a very small amount of lime to it, and then these were all good. So now they just need some water and they'll be ready. Next up was a really quick clean. We were just taking all of the dead plants out of our Florida weave and off of our trellis. We left it on over winter and just haven't gotten around to cleaning it up. So this was a nice little cleanup to do. Alright, it's all clear and ready for this year's crops. And this old thing of tomatoes will go in our compost. And lastly for tonight, we're going to pull out these carrots to clear out some of these beds. Soil's just a little bit too wet. And that sucks because that would have been a nice carrot.
Loosen it up.
Gonna loosen it up a little bit before we take them. Nacho's still here.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a double.
What? Are you kidding? You've got to be kidding. There's a third one that was gonna
fake this out.
Grow out of it. There's a third one that was gonna grow out of it. Oh my gosh. It looks a little provocative. Loppers.